Hello people, welcome back to yet another video. Let's talk about Arsenal. So, let's talk about yet another defeat, which is, I think, it's getting a bit too much at the moment. A lot of emotions, I guess, for every Arsenal fan right now. Even though, from what I've seen online, a lot of people expected something like this to happen. What we probably didn't expect is what happened in that first half, or basically the repeat of Aston Villa game, the repeat of West Ham game, and many other games this season. Basically creating a lot of chances and scoring none of them. Going back to one of my first videos ever this season, I was talking about the change of the style of play, right? And that we were told that we're trying to hold to have more control of the game rather than what we had last season, trying to blitz the teams. And back then I said that for me it doesn't work. I didn't see any control. We were grinding results, but it wasn't. We didn't have any control of the games. That game against Fulham, the first one, I think showed it very well. Um, yeah. So apart from that, right? I was talking about us missing chances. We were creating chances, but we were missing. And I said back then that when we play better teams, it will come back to bite us, and that's exactly what happened. You think of, I think this shit started with Newcastle game. We didn't play well. We lost the game with a very controversial game and a very controversial goal. Right? For me, goal shouldn't have stand. But that's a different topic. If you think of the game itself, we didn't create many chances. If you go back like 15 years ago, right, the Invincibles or whatever, even whatever was left after 2007, 2008 of that team, you were watching that game, you were never nervous, right? And the reason was that even if something goes against us, unless it's a huge game like United game or Chelsea game or Liverpool game, every other game back then, even if something goes against us like a penalty or offside goal or whatever, we didn't care. We would go and score 5 goals. We didn't care about those. Yeah, we would allow 2 goals or 3 goals, but we would easily score 5, 6, whatever. Sometimes even 7. But right now it's a different situation, right? You look at that Newcastle game. We didn't create shit in that game. If we would score a couple of goals, you don't care about that goal, right? Aston Villa, they scored a goal. We could score 5. We didn't take our chances at all. Tonight Liverpool game, right? Even the first game against Liverpool at Anfield in the Premier League a couple of weeks earlier, we didn't play well. We didn't deserve to get anything from that game, but we could actually steal 3 points, right? If we were a bit more clinical in those first 20, first 30 minutes of the game. Tonight, first half, we should have gone at least 2-0 up, right? I'm not gonna say something crazy like 3, 4, 5, etc. But at least I think to say that we should have been 2-0 up is a fair assessment of the game. We didn't, and we paid the price. Did Liverpool deserve the win tonight? Yes, they did, because that's part of the game being clinical. They defended as good as they could. At the end of the day, they won the game, fair and square. And now we're out of probably the only trophy. I think that's the common, how can I say, the common mood right now amongst Arsenal fans, that the way we're playing, nobody really believes that we can even. Hell, I'm not sure we can even go past Porto right now, because Porto is a very tough team to play right now. Even if we go past Porto, what then? If we have to play someone like Bayern or Real Madrid, they will tear us apart. God forbid we have to play City. I'm not sure if we can play City in the next round, but whatever. So if you think this season, right, let's continue. So we went to Villa, we lost 1-0. We went to Newcastle, we lost 1-0. We went to Chelsea. For some reason, we made Chelsea look good this season, and this is not a banter at Chelsea. They're not good this season. Their fans know they're not good. Yeah, they play well when they play big teams, but United made them look miserable. We went there and we barely escaped a draw. We went to Anfield. We played horrible. We barely escaped with a draw. So every single big team that we played, we can't get shit out of it. And even more, we played Spurs at our ground. We barely escaped with 2-all draw. We lost to West Ham, a team in form. Yeah, not probably not a top 6 team, but still a team in a very good form. We lost 2-0 to them. So what the hell is going on right now at Arsenal, right? Now, in the last video I said that for Kroenkes it's make or break this January transfer window. Now I don't expect us, to start signing players from day one. Obviously, it's not going to happen, especially if you're going for big targets. But I'm sitting here. It's already 8th of January, and I'm looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, and they're already signing 2 players. Yeah, Timo Werner on loan, which I think it's a very very good signing for them. It's a loan deal. They don't risk shit here. And then they're signing for some Romanian guy, I believe from Italy. I think he's a center back or something. And we're doing nothing. Now, as I said, I don't expect us to sign any players probably up until the mid of the month. But unfortunately, what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, the reports and everything is that Arsenal are not planning on a big move. Again, it's a bit of it's a bit of a kind of misleading news right now, because on one side some people say that some journalists report that we are not signing anybody, we will not sign any big names, so basically no big spends, so we're looking for loan moves. On the other side, today there were reports that they're pushing for Dusan Vlahovic. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But the problem I see here is, I said it before, not many people supported Arteta more than I did. And the reason I supported Arteta is because, I said it many times, I like those kind of projects when you have a young squad with a young manager. I don't want us to be, City, PSG, Real Madrid, etc., etc. I don't want us to go and splash the cash. But they need to win something, right? And it's all good and dandy having a young squad, right? But we also have experienced players. We have Gabriel Jesus, we have Zinchenko, right? They've both been part of a very, very successful City team. We have players like Havertz, good or bad, he's an experienced player, right? We have Partey still in the club for some reason. We have Declan Rice, again, young but experienced. So this team is not exactly a rookie team. And I think that after tonight's game, a lot of questions need to be asked of Arteta and Edu as well. Now, this doesn't mean that for me Arteta has to go, although it's a fair, right now after tonight, after the last 7 games, it's a fair assessment. I think that people who are calling for Arteta out, they have the full right to do so. I don't think we should sack Arteta, and my personal opinion is that the players just threw him under the bus, especially tonight. It's just it feels like the players are turning on him. I'm not sure I don't know if that's the case. I hope it's not, but it feels like this. They're just not playing right now. They're not performing at all. Now, the reason I'm saying I don't think we should sign Arteta is because we had so many examples in front of our eyes. United in the last couple of years, right? How many coaches did they sack? Nothing changed for them because they backed up the board, backed up the players. They allowed the players to have so much control that right now they probably have to go for someone like Ancelotti or Pep Guardiola, like some huge name. Other than that, the players will not perform. They know they're not getting any responsibility here. It will always be the coach. Tottenham as well. Look at what happened at Tottenham, right? Mourinho couldn't win shit there, and look what happens now when they finally started backing up properly their coach. Chelsea sacking manager after manager after manager when it's clear not the problem is not the manager. Even if you look at ourselves, like look at Arsenal with Emery. Now, when we signed Emery, I was kind of disappointed. I'm not a huge fan of Emery. I don't rate him. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's bank average coach. I watched him at Sevilla because I watch a lot of La Liga as well. I've watched him very closely at Spartak Moscow, as I said. I do watch the Russian Premier League, so I'm a CSK Moscow fan, so I watched him at Spartak Moscow. He was horrible, and he had one of the best teams there. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he's bank average coach. And when he came over to Arsenal, it it was funny because people were making fun of him, and I was actually backing the guy up. Like I always said, it, the guy is not a good coach, but the problem is not in him. The problem is that our squad is horrible. It sucks. And look at Emery right now when he's given the proper players, and not just the proper players, players with the right attitude. And I think that if they sack Arteta now, they will give this they will give this power to the players. And obviously, they are not going to go for Ancelotti or Pep Guardiola or a manager like that, right? They will go for another young or let's say cheap manager, and he will have the same issues. Now, is it a crisis or not? Yes, it's most definitely a crisis. Uh, I do believe, yeah, I have to agree with a lot of people on YouTube or most social medias that, sorry, all social medias that we're not winning the Champions League. I don't think we have a chance there. Uh, I don't think we will win the title in the Premier League. Liverpool look good. City are coming back, and right now I have to say even Villa is looking better than us. And if Tottenham keeps doing what they're doing right now in the transfer market, we could find ourselves behind Tottenham as well, because they are doing well. So yeah, so what's next, right? So the the Carabao Cup, I said it before, I said it again, I don't care about it. I don't rate it at all. I only care for Carabao Cup so we can try younger players, give a chance for younger players, give a chance for bench players, give a chance for players that are coming back from injury and they need game time. So if you manage to win it with a young squad, with youngsters and so on, then yeah, that's a good thing. Playing your first team there, not for me. The FA Cup is a completely different thing. I love the FA Cup, and given the fact that we are the team to won the most cups there, we should perform better there. We should treat it as our cup. Unfortunately, it's not already. So yeah, the mood was destroyed on let's let's say on Christmas, and nothing changed since then. We're still shit. We're still not playing well. Well, you could say we're playing well, but we're not getting the results. So kind of contradicts itself. So yeah, hopefully from all the teams, if it's going to be a big team, I hope it's going to be Liverpool. I most definitely don't want United or City or especially Chelsea or Tottenham to win anything. So if it's going to be a big team, let it be Liverpool. They played well. They fully deserved to win. Now the other thing I was reading about is Arsenal fans being humbled, which is kind of strange thing to say for a team that was in the trenches for like 15 years. We've been shit, well, not 15, but probably for the last 12, because I do believe that the last time we were actually a good team before the last season was 2010. So I think it's more of a case of after all these crappy years, we saw some light in the end of the tunnel. We ran through it, and unfortunately, right now it looks like we just tripped and fell on our faces, thanks to our players. But in more serious notes, I think that those players they kind of need to understand that what they're doing is clearly unprofessional. It's simply unprofessional, because you can blame Arteta for whatever the hell you want to blame Arteta. But when you have a player in a goal scoring position that was put there by the play of your team, that's not on the manager if he misses or not. I'm sorry, it's not on the manager. I don't think that at the age of 24, 25, 22, even 20 years of age, is your manager's job to tell you how to kick the ball in order to put it behind the goaltender. Those are, I mean, it's clearly football basics, right? So you have to be able to do that. I was watching an interview of Roy Keane a couple of years ago, and they asked him a question: how did Sir Alex Ferguson manage to keep United players, to keep them being, what was the word? It's kind of got out of my mind. Motivated, yeah. How he managed to keep them motivated for so many years. And he said something very very smart. He said it's not the manager's job to keep you motivated. Once you put the United shirt on your back, that's the motivation to play for a club of that magnitude. If you that's not motivating enough for you, get the hell out of this club. And he said it's not manager's job to motivate you, and I fully agree here, right? So I'm sorry, but it's not manager's job to tell you this is how you have to kick the ball to score. He makes the play, he draws the game plan, and I think that you just can't criticize Arteta for that. Obviously, last couple of games, at least what I've seen, it if we can get some positives, is that we're kind of reverting back to last year, the way we played. Unfortunately, we just can't score the goal. And if you think that, well, it's on Arteta that all the attacking players are out of form because we changed the formation, again, I will not agree with that, because again, you should be able to score those chances. Like Odegaard, like that situation, 13th minute, I believe, when Odegaard hits the crossbar, we could score 3 times in that play. 3 different players. And funny enough, Havertz did pretty well in that situation, but is that Arteta's fault? No. Is it Arteta's fault that they all miss? Like they cannot hit a. You can replace the football goal with American football goal, they still can't score. It's not on Arteta, it's not on the manager, it's not me defending Arteta, it's just, as I said, players need to take responsibility as well. Because this is on the players, they just threw Arteta under the bus, and to be fair, if I was Arteta tonight, I would probably walk into this locker room and I would tell them only, thank you for throwing me under the bus, thank you for putting my job on the line, after all I did for you. And I will see you all tomorrow if they don't sack me. And I would leave. Because, honestly to God, right now I'm looking at this team and it feels like they just don't want to be there. They just don't want to play. Not all of them, of course. There are some guys that could leave the pitch with their heads up. Rice, for example, Saliba, but Gabriel, yeah. But it's a team sport, right? So you all win, you all lose. So they all have to hold that. So yeah, another not very fun video, not very cheering. As I said before, hopefully you're smarter than me and you don't allow this to get too deep into you, because for me it's a bit devastating. So please comment on the video, like the video, let me know, do you agree with that? Do you think that Arteta should leave? Do you think that we should scrap everything and just start from the start? Do you think that we should just go and sign a couple of players, or you think we should go and just, I don't know, protest like people who go to the stadium? Just don't go. Leave it empty for the next home game. Just put a sign, it's not good enough or something like that. Thank you, and up to the next one.